In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can practice and improve your English with pictures. Not just with pictures in ChatGPT. You can now upload them to ChatGPT, and there are so many things you can do. Very useful, very powerful ways to improve your English. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to see future videos. My name is Luke. I hope you're ready to improve your English. Now let's get into it. You may have tried to improve your English with pictures. It can be a good way to practice descriptions and all kinds of things. We're going to get into it, right? But I want to talk about it now because you have an additional tool now. We're going to be using ChatGPT to explore more in depth how we can learn and practice English with images. Some of this stuff that we're going to talk about you will be able to do on your own without a tool like ChatGPT. Some of it, if you want to get feedback, for example, you may be able to do with a partner, and some of it is perhaps best done with a tool like ChatGPT. I know not everyone has GPT-4, okay? I know that. I use that because, in my view, it pays for itself a million times over. It's insane how worth it is, in my view. The amount of time and effort that I'm allowed to save by using it pays for itself so many times. I can't even believe it. So to me, it's completely worth it. But I understand if not everyone uses it. I'm sure eventually, all of the versions of it will have the ability to look at images, right? But that's what's going on here. You can upload a picture and then ask ChatGPT to analyze it and ask it questions. So think of it like this. You give a picture to a person, and now you have an ability to practice with that person based on that picture. Okay? So let's just say we want to use it for pure discovery, pure vocabulary discovery, perhaps sentence patterns, right? Structures for description. So for this, it would be a little bit challenging to do this without ChatGPT unless you have, for example, a book, maybe a travel book or something, and it has the descriptions of the images in the travel book or in a travel blog below or beside or around it, right? So that's great. That's a great way to learn how to pick out, interesting, useful words and phrases, to master those, to see them in context. That's good, actually. You can do that on your own. But if you have an image and you want to use that to learn, and you want to generate a description, then it might be a little bit challenging. Okay, add anything. That's not super, the drag and drop is not super intuitive, to be honest. All right, now I'm not even going to ask anything, okay? All I'm going to do is hit enter after I upload the image or send. Oh, enter doesn't work, okay. For images, enter doesn't work. And we're going to just look at what comes out naturally. Now, if I have follow-up questions, I can ask, right? But we're going to just look at what comes out naturally. It looks like your goat is enjoying some goat yoga. And that is exactly what's going on here. There's a thing, it's called goat yoga. And so if I didn't know what this was, I could upload this picture and see if ChatGPT can figure it out. It looks like your goat is enjoying some goat yoga. This is a fun and popular activity where people do yoga while goats interact with them, often jumping on their backs or moving around them. It's believed to provide relaxation and a unique bonding experience with the animals. It's great to see both humans and goats having a good time. If you have any questions about the image or the activity, feel free to ask. Okay. Now, first thing we could do here is simply pick out things that are new and maybe write them down or understand them in context. Okay, is it important to know goat yoga? Well, that is a thing now, so maybe. But there are some other, I think, interesting things going on. Bonding experiences. Okay, so what is a bonding experience? That's one thing I might want to dive into a little bit deeper. Now, I could ask directly that question, or I could explore bonding and what it means and how it's used on a website like the free dictionary, right? Okay, maybe that's an interesting one to pick out. I also see here some interesting relationship aspects in the way this description is phrased. This is a fun and popular activity where people do yoga while goats interact with them, often jumping on their backs or moving around them. Okay, jumping on their backs or moving around them. Why are they moving around them? Does that just mean near them or actually in circles? So I might try to maybe explore that structure a little bit more deeply. Again, whatever it is that is new or interesting or unknown to you, right? Just uploading a picture and asking for nothing is going to give you a general description, but we can go into further depth. So we could say perhaps, could you explain what bonding means in this context? Okay. Now can I hit enter? Oh, geez. Okay. What? I feel like I used to be able to hit enter in ChatGPT. Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? Certainly. In this context, bonding refers to the process of forming a connection, or relationship between two beings. When it comes to activities like goat yoga, participants often experience a sense of connection with the goats. This bond can arise from physical interaction, like a goat climbing onto a participant, or from simply being in close proximity. And so now we kind of keep going down the rabbit hole of, okay, now there are new things I can pick out. And you just keep exploring, okay, what is proximity and how is that used? And maybe you know that, but the important thing is for you, what are the new things or the interesting things? And you're using the image as a way to pull out and dive deeper. So you start on the surface and you dive deeper into one, and then that brings out something new. You dive deeper into that. That brings out something new. You dive deeper into that. Okay. So discovery, new vocabulary, new sentence structures, right? But then if we want, and by the way, we can explore individual sentences by, for example, asking for an explanation of what bonding means. And we could go even deeper. We could say, could you please use bonding in, well, why don't we do it? Could you use the word bonding in a few other example sentences and explain any other senses or forms of the word? Got it. Okay. So this maybe is a way to dive deeper into the specific word. And I'm just picking one out, right? This is just an example. But the important thing is that it's this back and forth process, which I consider to be very playful and fun, right? The term bonding is versatile and can be used in various contexts. Here are some example sentences. Parent-child relationship, mother-infant bonding is crucial in the first few hours after birth. Okay, and then I get an explanation. Friendship, the camping trip was a great bonding experience for the entire group. Okay, bonding refers to a strengthening of ties or friendships. Okay, 3, molecular chemistry. Oh, well, that seems very different. That's not friendships or motherhood. A covalent bonding occurs when atoms share electrons. Okay, so it's used in the same way with kind of the same meaning, except without maybe the emotional aspect. Dental procedure. The dentist used a bonding agent to attach the brace to the tooth. Okay, so I'm seeing it's used for a lot of different things. That seems to have a physical meaning. It seems to have a molecular meaning. It seems to have an emotional meaning or a meaning related to relationships. But there is a common thread of kind of things being stuck together or bound together, right? Very interesting. Construction, finance. Okay, So you can explore that if you like. And I think the finance one, bonding might refer to the issuance of bonds. Does bonding have anything to do with, I don't think that one has anything to do with the others in terms of meaning. Although, wait a second. No, I think it does. Actually, I think it does. I believe it does. Yeah, I think they have a common thread all the way through them as far as I can tell. And you could go even deeper. You could say, for one of these, could you explain more in depth how to use bonding in terms of finance, right? With some more example sentences and a deeper explanation. Or you could ask for further examples or a quiz or something like that. There's so many ways to explore language. And we just picked out one word, right? Okay, but now I want to go back to the image. Okay, let's get back to the goat yoga, right? Back to the image. Let's just say the image. I want to learn how to use prepositions correctly with this image. Give me a description of the image using prepositions to help me learn them. That's a pretty rough request, but there's a simple way to come up with it. Okay, so now it's going back to the image, and now remember we're looking at the goat yoga, right? We have a goat, we have some people, we have a beach, right? So we want to now use this to explore or practice a specific part of speech, in this case, a preposition. The goat is on the woman's back. The participants this is also very accurate, right? The participants are on mats. The woman's hands are on the mat. The woman's feet are under her body. The goat is facing toward the other participants. One of the participants is bending over her mat. The woman's hair hangs down her back. The event is taking place outside. The mats are laid out on the ground. Trees and plants can be seen in the background. There is gravel beneath the mats. The woman with the ponytail is wearing a red shirt. The participants with the goats are doing yoga. Okay, so you can see the idea here. We're exploring now a specific type of word, understanding a little bit more how it's used. That might give us deeper insight into, for example, prepositions. Now, the accuracy is not always 100%, but you can get much more insight than perhaps you had before. And again, that's just one image. We could do the same thing, for example, with an image of a living room, which often has, quite interesting, let's say interesting relationships. So let's upload this one between objects. I want to practice prepositions, and hopefully it can remember what I was trying to do. I want to practice prepositions with this image as well. Okay, so hopefully we get the same sort of thing. And then if I want to practice it more deeply, I could ask for, so you have a living room scene here, I could ask for a quiz or something like that. Of course, let's dive into a detailed description of this image using a variety of prepositions. Okay. Position. 2 woven pendant lights hang above the coffee table. Excellent. A series of framed art pieces are displayed on the wall behind the sofa. There's a potted plant to the left of the lamp. The round coffee table is in front of the sofa. A decorative bowl is placed on the coffee table. Yep, we got a decorative bowl on the coffee table. This is all really, really accurate. The room is illuminated by natural lighting. Now, that's a really interesting one because, wait a minute. The room is illuminated by natural light coming from the window on the right. There's a lot of stuff happening in that particular example there. We could learn a lot from that. A colorful rug lies beneath the furniture. There's a plant in the corner near the window. Okay, you get the idea. Again, you have to take this much further. I'm just giving you a sense for how you can explore this. Now, before, if you're practicing with this, you can look at the image and try to write these down first, then make the request, then see how well your prepositions match the prepositions that you get from ChatGPT of the image or based on the image. And I want to be very clear, we're just dipping our toes in here. You could explore all types of parts of speech, all types of structures for description. And I'm going to now talk about how you can use this as a conversation starter, as a way to practice your spoken English. If you're using the app, right, the ChatGPT app, you can speak and do speech to text and actually have a conversation. And I believe very soon, it's crazy to me that at this very moment, there isn't speech to speech, right, or having a real conversation. I believe it's been announced already. I just don't have it yet, unfortunately, which is very disappointing. But very, very soon, you'll be able to have basically a live conversation with ChatGPT about anything. You can ask these questions or you can ask any others. Now, if you wanted to, instead of just having the descriptions, you could say, give me the sentences with blanks where prepositions would be so that I can test myself. I will fill in the blanks and then ask you to check my answers. Okay? And so you could do something like this. There, again, probably a more precise way to ask that. But let's just imagine for a second we hadn't already generated these sentences. The woven pendant lights hang the coffee table. A series of framed art pieces is displayed. The wall, the sofa. So this is a really great way to push ourselves to find the correct preposition. We would write down the answers, right? We would say 7, the colorful rug lies, let's say, I believe it's in front of the furniture, I think. So 7, I think, let me check the picture. I got to check. Okay, well, there's some furnitures on the rug. And it's also in front of the furniture. I don't know how specific it's being. I want to say in front of and under, right? I'm going to risk it. So I'm going to do 7 in front of and under. Okay, let's see if 7 is correct. In front of and under. And you would just go through and do all of these. Come on. Don't say I'm wrong. Great. You filled in the blanks for sentence number 7. Let's see how it looks. A colorful rug lies in front of the furniture and under the furniture. Your use of in front of seems to be an additional insertion. The original intent was to express the rug's position beneath the furniture. Okay, I see where you're coming from, ChatGPT, but to be totally honest, we got to look carefully. That rug is in front of that sofa. It is, absolutely. So, all right. I mean, yeah, ChatGPT is right in a sense because most of the furniture is beneath, right? Or under. But I think you could also say that I'm partially right. Let's try another one here really quickly. Let's see. Number 10. The coffee table faces the sofa adorned in various... Okay, let's do 11. I like 11. It's a different style because I hadn't actually seen that answer. The sofa adorned 11 with various cushions. I'm going to go with there. Let's see. 11 with. All right, let's check your answer. The sofa adorned with various cushions provides a comfortable seating area. That's correct. Well done. Yeah, and I could continue, but again, the possibilities are almost endless here for practice. All right. Now, we've practiced using prepositions to kind of push ourselves, to explore the relationships between things. We've looked at how we can dive deeper into specific words and phrases and structures. We've looked at how we can get a simple bit of text about something. Maybe it's a picture you take on a vacation. You want to get a basic description and then pick out some of those useful individualized words and structures, right? We've looked at that. Now, what if I want to have a conversation? What if I want to do that? Okay, so let's have a conversation. I'm going to choose a different image, and I'm going to say, let's have a discussion around the ideas connected to this image. That's too complex. I'm just kind of roughly describing what I want to do. Let's see what we get here. Now we have it looks like a woman sitting near her colleagues at her desk. She looks pretty stressed out. She's not having a great day, obviously. So the image showcases a woman seemingly in distress or deep thought, could be, at her workspace in what looks like an office environment. Here are some ideas and topics connected to this image. So I think she could be in deep thought. I would definitely vote for distress or workplace stress. I just noticed the top of this is lost goat, can't locate. Okay, workplace stress. Okay, the woman's posture and expression suggest that she may be overwhelmed or stressed. It brings up the topic of the demands and pressures of modern day jobs and how they can affect mental well-being, work-life balance, support system, ergonomics. While not the central theme, the setup brings up the subject of proper workplace ergonomics. Are employees given a comfortable and health-conscious environment to work in? Maybe, too many colleagues too close to my elbows. Burnout. I like all of these. Okay, so let's discuss burnout and workplace stress. But also, if I make any mistakes with my English, please let me know. I am trying to improve. Now, I might be doing this speech to text in the app. I could do that. We're doing it here for now, but we could definitely do that. All right, so I'll guide our discussion on burnout and workplace stress, and also keep an eye on your English and offer corrections if needed. Okay, so first we define burnout. Great. What I'm hoping is to get a question that I can then answer to sort of kick off a discussion. So let's see if, okay, giving me too many definitions. Let's hit stop here and just say, just give me a discussion question that I can answer around the topic. Okay, that's all I want. That's all I want, ChatGPT. Don't have to give me a whole thing about burnout. Okay. Here's a discussion question for you. How do you think companies and organizations can implement, there's a word to look up, measures to prevent employee burnout and reduce workplace stress? Are there any strategies or changes you'd recommend based on personal experience or observations? Good. So then I might say my opinion about those things. And then if I make any mistakes, grammatical mistakes, if I'm speaking, then spelling mistakes wouldn't be relevant and punctuation wouldn't be relevant, but grammatical mistakes, tense mistakes, phrasing mistakes, odd phrasing perhaps, then I can get hopefully some feedback and corrections. Now, if you want to get very precise with it, you really have to structure these prompts much better than what I've done here. That's something that's covered in my ChatGPT course, where we look at a prompt which is insanely long because we want to make sure the whole thing is structured correctly and we're getting the right type of feedback. This is just a quick request based on the image. But from all this, you can see that just with a couple of pictures, we can begin to explore, interact with, play with language without having to think of a topic, without having to search on the internet for an image and an associated description. You just upload a picture and you are off to the races, learning new language, learning new patterns, practicing those, diving deeper into those, working on the things that are specifically challenging to you. For example, prepositions, the relationships between objects, learning about them, but also practicing them with things like quizzes. And then more generally, having a starter for conversations that you can use then to practice speaking casually, especially if you're doing speech to text, which I would recommend that you do, right? All this from images without having to think of anything. That's the key thing, I think. So this is very powerful. I'm still exploring ways to use this. I'm still exploring what's possible here, but it's pretty cool. If you play with it, if you discover anything, let me know in the comments. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and also get a free course in the links in the description.